So today I'm going to visit my friend, Professor Dick Meijer. He lives here in the city, and I'm going to ask him to give a short summary about the article that we made together. It's published on ResearchGate, and you can find it under the title Portals Between Art and Science on the Mirror Universe and the Mirror Art Concept of David Christiaan Hutte. So I'm going to ask him to tell us why it's interesting to read and what it's about. Let's go. So Dick, what can people expect when they read the article that we published?
Well, let me say first that I look back at this project with David Christiaan Hutte with great pleasure and deep satisfaction. It was really an exchange of ideas, and in the going on of this process, I noticed that David is, apart from a talented painter, also art philosopher.
Oh, thank you for the kind words, Dick. I wasn't expecting that.
Okay, now when we look at the title of our common publication, it's about portals between art and science. Now, how can two people talk about such different disciplines? Because it is both exposing nature in an own individual way. And you may ask about the connections between the two fields. And therefore we use the term portal. A portal is a sort of connecting channel or a bridge between two complete different endeavors. Now, what is central in this endeavor is the item of the mirror. The mirror is something we use to look into ourselves. We not only see our environment, but we also see ourselves. And in this process of making the article, we discovered that it's all about intuition and inspiration and about the deeper layers of our existence, our so-called self-consciousness. So when we talk about making science and performing art, it is all about going into the deep levels of ourselves and realizing how we obtain the information for our piece of art or our scientific article.
Yeah, for me also it was interesting, the whole process of making it. What I always like about art is that the subject of the artwork and the experience of making it or even observing it is the same. And for me, that was the same thing with this article. So it's about the discovery process of art and science. But during the making of the article, it was also really we discovered it through making it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, that is often a process also in science where you collect the data. And the first thing you always do is to ask the best question. What do we want to know? And if we then formulate that question very well, there is almost immediately a solution, because thinking about a question provides a part of the answer. Okay. Now, what is the reason that we expose nature in these completely different ways? For science, it's sometimes easy. In my case, it's the connection between art as music and at the same time as what I call the biophysics of the fabric of reality. So this is about how our universe is built and how it started and probably what is the end of it. Now you do not forget that doing art and performing science is not always an easy thing. It's not an easygoing process. Because in that process you have encounters with yourself. And this is all related to the severe limitations that you have in understanding what is really going on. And it reminds me a little bit on what the Eagles said in their song about the two passengers that visited Hotel California. And that is, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. So sometimes we are worried about feeling to be in a prison of our own ideas. And sometimes it's difficult to get out. But it's also very satisfying to find the solution to some problems in physics, in cosmology, in my area of designing drugs. It's like a puzzle that finally fits, and it gives a sort of a high if you finally see the things before you. And it is important to realize how efficient this process is. Because sometimes you say to yourself, I was looking for a year in the wrong direction. How is it possible? Why didn't I see it immediately? And that reminds me of the famous physicist from the United States, John Wheeler. And John Wheeler said, someday we all understand the whole thing as one single marvelous vision that will seem so overwhelmingly simple and beautiful that we may say to each other, oh, how could we have been so stupid for so long? How could it be have otherwise? This is a sort of famous prophecy of hope of this scientist. Now, looking back at the process of making the article, it was quite clear that we have both had interest in the philosophy behind our endeavors. So science philosophy is actually the science about science. How is this scientific process going? How is someone who makes a piece of art really working? And we came both to the conclusion that there must be a sort of knowledge field somewhere deep within us that provides the information that is necessary for making what we are doing. And information, you have to note this term, is information. It really means that you collect data that give form and meaning to the objects you describe. And so indeed, it is a question of inspiration.